Okay, dear friends, it's purely a coincidence that we are actually participating in this protest here today on April the 1st. However, the announcement that was made in the Dáil the day before yesterday about the amounts of money that the Irish taxpayers are going to be forced over the next several years to cough up in order to bail out the bankers and the speculators. That Dáil debate should really have been today, the 1st of April, because they are making fools of the Irish people and they are taking the Irish people as fools. But I think that it has gone far enough, and we have called this protest today at short notice, really to lay down a marker that what is being agreed in Dáil Éireann does not have the consent of the vast majority of working people, of unemployed people, of poor people and of pensioners in this country. And we are saying that it is not and should be not regarded as a done deal, because if we were to allow that, it means for every year, for the next 10, 15, 20 years or even more, billions of euro in resources from our taxes would be going to bail out the criminals, the financial sharks who existed in this building and in many other buildings over the last 10 years. Not content with having made an absolute fortune in the rip-off on young working people to extortionate mortgages for which they will be paying for the next 40 years, when that massive splurge inevitably bursts, they want then to be bailed out for the crisis that they have created. I am saying it would be an absolute disaster if we poured the money into the bellies of these financial sharks and other financial sharks of the international bondholders who now see an opportunity to reap further billions on the backs of the Irish people. If we did that while neglecting our public services, while driving down the living standards of working people, public and private sector workers, that would be an absolute disaster for our society. And we are saying by this protest today, this is the beginning of a movement to say it must not happen, and the situation that has been already agreed must be changed. I want to say that the policies that the Fianna Fáil Green Party government are pursuing will turn out to be an absolute disaster. By savaging the wages of public sector workers, by piling massive extra taxes on private sector workers, they are merely cutting down the money that those workers would spend on services and on goods in shops and in outlets throughout the country. And that means that the thousands of workers providing those services will now join the Dáil queue, along with the 400,000 plus that are there at the present time. This is an absolute disaster. This will not resolve the crisis. This is a crisis of capitalism, both in Ireland and internationally. Now, I was in Greece only 2 weeks ago to discuss with Greek workers who are suffering exactly the same crisis as we have here at the present time, and whose living standards and whose services are being pulverized by the Greek government, acting on the interests of whom? Acting on the interests of the international hedge funds and the predatory banks like Goldman Sachs, who have orchestrated a crisis against the euro and against countries like Greece over the past 3 months. Why? So that they can, from the instability that they themselves have created, massively increase interest rates and therefore drive up massively the profits that they can make, that they will make, that they want to make. But who are they making those profits on? They are making those profits on the backs of the Greek working class, on the backs of the Portuguese working class, and on the backs of the Irish working class. And I have to say that it is nauseating for the last year and a half to listen to the public and other broadcasters in this country in relation to these financial sharks. Every decision of cutback that this government has announced over the last 18 months, the question that is put in studios to right-wing commentators and to others is this enough for the markets? Will this satisfy the markets? Will this give confidence to the markets that they can give us more money? As if the markets were God Almighty in the sky, dictating to the Irish people, the Greek people and the Portuguese people that they should fall on their faces in front of the markets. Who are the markets? Why don't they ask that? Who elected the markets? The markets are about 10,000 hedge funds based on the east coast of the United States, based in London, each controlling funds of about 20 billion plus each. And with these funds they roam the globe looking for opportunities for massively quick bucks in response to providing those funds for loans. They then, as an incredible article in the Wall Street Journal revealed, 18 of these hedge funds sat down at a private dinner in New York in February, and they discussed how they would continue to speculate against the euro and against Greece. And the Deputy Foreign Minister of Greece then said, as a result of the activities of these individuals, one particular loan of 5 billion that the Greek government had to take will cost that government 750 million euro over and above if it was loaned to Germany. Because they can do that, because they control the financial markets. But it is the Greek working class who are being pulverized to pour their money to make up that 750 million. And that is exactly what is happening in this country also. Our people, our working people, our pensioners who have worked all their lives, our people who are now thrown on the scrap heap of unemployment, they are all being sacrificed on the altar of speculative capitalism in this country to make up for the crimes of these people here, the senior people in Anglo Irish banks. But let nobody be fooled by the headlines of recent days where they try to hang this around one or two or three individuals' necks. Of course those people, Fitzpatrick and Drum and the rest of them, are financial criminals and absolutely should be called to account. But let us remember, these crimes of profiteering and speculation that have brought our country to its knees was carried out by an entire class of speculators and bankers and big business, and were legislated for and encouraged every step of the way by the government in Dáil, led by Bertie Ahern and Mary Harney, over the 10 years between 1997 and 2007. And therefore, when any reckoning comes, the political leaders of Fianna Fáil and the PDs have to be put in the dock alongside Fitzpatrick and alongside the other financial criminals. I am going to finish now, dear friends. I just want to say, today really should just be the beginning of a fight back. We have an alternative. We say let the bondholders, let the speculators who put their funds in for massive gain, let them go to hell. Let us nationalise the banks in the real way that nationalisation should be, which means under democratic ownership and control of working people. In that way we can bring funds to bear for infrastructural projects that will put tens of thousands of our people back to work. We can give loans at reasonable rates to self-employed people, to small business, to small farmers, and we can have a just solution for the tens of thousands of young workers in their 20s and 30s saddled with the criminal mortgage rates and the criminal negative equity as a result of the carry-on of these gangsters. That is the socialist alternative. That is the democratic alternative. And we need to bring people's power behind that demand. The Irish people have the power. Working people are the greatest power in our country. But they really must mobilise that power now to say, not an inch more, not a cent more to them, not a cent more from us. Go meet him again.